Long ago, when my marriage was still bad, my husband and I went to a counselor. At one point, we were talking about our fighting, and I wanted this, and he wanted that, and I'd say this, and he said that. And my husband says something to the effect of, why should I let her win and I lose? And the counselor actually was a priest, was very wise. And he said to my husband, marriage is not a win-lose. If you win, she wins. But if you lose, she loses. Guys, I thought that was about the wisest thing I ever heard a priest or a marriage counselor say in a counseling session. And I think that we all, whether we're in happy marriages or unhappy marriages, need to remember that. And I'm just doing this as like a little check because a lot of you are like, you're right. Because when we first get married, we are so in love with our spouse. It's like, we'll do everything together. We will conquer the world. And you really do see yourselves as a team. But when you hurt each other's feelings and life's challenges occur, and maybe I've said something to hurt you or you've done something to hurt me, and we put up our walls where we don't know how to handle conflict and we get uncomfortable with it. We'll sometimes push back or whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. And we start to see our relationship as a battle. And when there is a battle, there are sides. There's one side, that's my side, there's your side. And that is exactly what Satan wants. He wants us all to be divided. He wants us all to think, you better not let her win. You better not let him win, because if he wins, you lose. But God is so God. He said the two shall be as one. And Satan wants us to forget that. But God is sending me to remind you that when he moves to the left, you move to the left. When he moves to the right, you move to the right. That when one hurts, whether you realize it or not, the other hurts. When one succeeds, the other succeeds. If I'm thriving in my marriage, if I'm making better money than my spouse, that's not a competition. That's a team. We are doing better. If I am better at the finances, we both benefit from the outcome of that. We both win. If I do something selfish, I not only hurt me, but I hurt you. If we just consider our perspectives, we can change the world. We can change our marriages. For those of you that read my book, The Super Couple, A Formula for Extreme Happiness in Marriage, you already know this. And for those of you that didn't, you need to go buy the book. Right now it's written, it's audiobook. We're really working on the Kindle. Something happened there. But you will see that the formula for an extremely happy couple, 100% of all the extremely happily married couples around the world follow the same formula, SACRED, sacred. And the A is attentiveness. Extremely happy couples pay attention to what their spouse does well. Unhappy couples pay attention to what their spouse does poorly. So if I'm looking at like, oh, you're really bad at such and such, well, then I'm choosing a perception that won't help my marriage. For example, the difference between the two. Because all of us is married to an imperfect person, and we are imperfect, and so they're all going to have bad days. So in a bad marriage, in my marriage for years when it was unhappy, your spouse comes home, he or she has a bad day, and they walk in and they slam the door and they're snotty or something, and they might even chew your head off at first. Now, that's uncalled for, and they can apologize for it later. But here's the thing. In an unhappy marriage, we think, that's a jerk. That person's a bad person. That's an awful spouse. And we attribute the negative things that just happened to his or her character. That is something that they are. Unchangeable. That's you. But in happy marriages, they, rather than saying it's something you are, they see it as something outside of you. For instance, you slam the cabinets, you have a bad day, and even if you get snarky and kind of bite their heads off, once they get past it and calm down, the happy spouse says, that is a good spouse. He's a good man. She's a good woman. He's just having a bad day. It's a huge difference in the outcome, but it's only a slight change in perspective. If I perceive that my husband and I are enemies, we will forever remain divided, and we will, to a degree, be enemies in an unhappy marriage. But if I see that when he wins, I win, I'm going to do everything in my power to set him up for success. I'm going to support him, encourage him. I'm going to give when I can give, and he will do the same. It's symbiotic. You sacrifice your needs to meet the needs of your spouse, and your spouse will sacrifice their needs to meet yours. That way, both people are getting their needs met, but they're being met by their other, and that draws them closer. What is your perspective on marriage? Have you tended to be more the negative, I win, you lose, I lose, you win? Or have you tended to be more of the, you know what, we're in this together? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching Breakfast with Bacon. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.